Welcome back to my tabletop. We've got a key game today in my Great Teams of the Past Season 2, APBA Baseball. It's game 4 of a 4-game series between the 1929 Chicago Cubs and the 1920 Cleveland Indians. Indians came into week number 3 as best team so far. They went 6-2 in the first 2 weeks, led everyone, won game 1 of this series, beat the Cubs 5-2 in the first game. It was tied 2-2 in the 8th. Indians put together 3 runs on 4 hits, including an RBI triple from Elmer Smith and an RBI double from Bill Wamsgone. So Indians won the opener, but the Cubs have come back to win the next 2. Game 2, a 4-0 shutout. Pat Malone had a masterpiece, threw a 3-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts. Riggs Stevenson had a pair of 2-run singles to account for all 4 of the Cubs' runs. And then in game 3, it was Cubs 3, Indians 2. Tied 2-2 in the top of the ninth. Kiki Kyler walked with 2 outs, and then it was Riggs Stevenson once again doubled him home for what turned out to be the game-winning RBI. Neither team's hitting very well in this series. The Indians, 7 runs, 22 hits, a 227 average. The Cubs, 9 runs, 20 hits, just a 215 average. So the Indians, after losing the last 2, now stand at 7-4 on the season. The Cubs, after winning the 2, have gotten over 500 and are 6-5. Earlier in week number 3, the 1930 Cardinals swept the 1922 Browns. Still to come, the 1927 Pirates against the 1927 Yankees, and then the 1922 Giants against the 1925 Senators. The 1919 Cincinnati Reds are off this week. Starting lineups for Game 4 between the Cubs and the Indians. First for Chicago, leading off and playing third base, Norm McMillan. The shortstop is Woody English. Rogers Hornsby is at second base. Hack Wilson is in center field. Kiki Kyler's in right field. Riggs Stevenson, the left fielder. Charlie Grimm plays first base. Zach Taylor is the catcher. And Guy Bush is on the mound. Bush 1-1 with a 4.20 ERA after his first 2 starts, but he is coming off a shutout win against the 1919 Reds. For the Indians, Charlie Jameson will lead off and play left field. Ray Chapman's the shortstop. Tris Speaker plays center field. Elmer Smith in right. Larry Gardner is the third baseman. Bill Wamsgone plays second. Doc Johnston is the first baseman. Steve O'Neill is the catcher. And Ray Caldwell is the starting pitcher. Caldwell, so far this season, 1-0 with a 3.94 ERA with 2 starts. So here we go. Norm McMillan to lead things off. McMillan batting .273 on the season. He is 4 for 12 in this series. Ground ball left side. Third baseman Gardner has it and throws over to first for the first out. Brings up Woody English. English just hitting .159 on the season. One of 3 Cubs starters hitting less than 200. The Cubs only hitting .216 as a team through 11 games. English is 2 for 11 in this series. And Caldwell strikes him out for out number 2. Here comes Rogers Hornsby. On one hand, he's the Cubs' top hitter this season with a .302 average. Of course, in 1929, he did hit .380 and was MVP of the National League. Problem, though, the Cubs have won 2 out of 3 games this series despite Hornsby doing absolutely nothing. He's 0 for 12 in the first 3 games. And he hopefully breaks out of the slump here as he drives one into center field. It falls in for a base hit. And that puts a runner on with 2 outs for Hack Wilson. And Wilson has been almost as bad as Hornsby, 1 for 11 in this series. That has lowered his batting average to .209 on the season, and Wilson was a .345 hitter in 1929. Ground ball to second. Wamsgons has it, throws over to first, and that is the final out of the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Indians coming to plate for the first time. Charlie Jamison to lead things off. He's hitting .243 this season, 2 for 10 in this series. And Jamison, good eye, draws a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Ray Chapman. Chapman hitting just .200, 2 for 12 in this series. Let's check the Indians' defense today. Bush is a one pitcher, so they have the middle fielding rating. Still, though, that just means Chapman hits a ball to short. English has it, tosses it to Hornsby. Hornsby makes the turn over to Grimm, double play. So that erases the leadoff walk. And now there are 2 outs for Tris Speaker. Speaker, hitting .304 on the season, has raised his average a bit this series as he is 4 for 10. Ground ball to third. McMillan has it. And throws it over to first for out number 3. We go to the second. No score. Here's Kiki Kyler for the Cubs. Kyler hitting .273, 4 for 11 in this series. He draws a leadoff walk. That brings up Riggs Stevenson. As we said, Stevenson drove in all 4 runs in the Cubs Game 2 win, had the game-winning RBI in the Game 3 victory. And nothing good here. Ground ball to third. Gardner has it. Throws to Wamsgone in second. On to first. Another double play. So both times a leadoff walk so far in this game. Both times a double play. Here's Charlie Grimm. Grimm batting .167, just 1 for 11. And Grimm pops it up on the left side. Third baseman Gardner calls for it, and that is out number 3. Elmer Smith will lead things off for the Cardinals. Smith, second best average on the team at .333. He's 5 for 12 in this series. Ground ball up the middle, but the pitcher, Bush, knocks it down, and he throws over to first, 1 away. Larry Gardner comes up, batting .268, just 1 for 12 in this series. Well hit to center field, but Hack Wilson is there to make the catch. 2 outs. Here's Bill Wamsgone's really struggling, just 122 on the season, 1 for 12 in this series. And he hits a weak ground ball. The pitcher, Guy Bush, picks it up, throws over to first. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the top of the third, still no score. Zach Taylor to lead things off. Team worst 147 average. 2 for 6 in this series. Ground ball to third. Larry Gardner takes it, throws it over to first. 1 out. Here's the pitcher, Guy Bush. 1 for 6 this season. And he hits a ground ball to first base, right through Doc Johnston's legs. Guy Bush is on base on the error. So 1 out, a runner on for Norm McMillan. Comes back up to the top of the lineup. McMillan 0 for 1, grounded out first time up. This time he hits a ball into center field. Catchable. Tris Speaker has it. Out number 2. Woody English struck out his first time up. This time, however, lines went into right. It's in for a hit. Guy Bush is going to motor his way to third base, and the Cubs now have runners at the corners for Rogers Hornsby. 2 outs. Hornsby just snapped an 0 for 12 slump with a base hit in the first inning. Can't do anything with this one, though. Pops it up in foul territory on the right side. Second baseman Wamsgons is going to go get it and make the catch for out number 3. So runner left on third base there. And we go to the bottom of the third. For the Indians, Doc Johnston, team best 341 average. Just 2 for 11, though, in this series. He'll hit a fly ball into right field. Kiki Kyler makes the catch for the first out. Steve O'Neill batting .286, 4 for 10 in this series. Hits it well into center field, but Hack Wilson will make the catch, and that's 2 outs. And here's the pitcher, Ray Caldwell, 1 for 7 on the season. And that he collects his second hit of the season, sending a ball into right center field. He's got a single, and the Indians have a runner on with 2 outs. Top of the order, Charlie Jameson walked his first time up. And he will once again take ball 4, putting runners on first and second. 2 outs for Ray Chapman. Chapman 0 for 1. Lazy fly ball into center field. Hack Wilson's going to catch it. And the Indians are retired. We go to the top of the 4th. Here is Hack Wilson, the Cubs cleanup hitter, 345, 39 homers in 1929, but just 1 for 12 in this series. This time, though, rips one over the third baseman's head down the left field line. Hack Wilson's going to walk into second base with a double. So the Cubs have runner on scoring position with no one out. Here is Kiki Kyler, walked his first time up. Kyler hits one into right center. It's in for a hit. They're going to send Hack Wilson, and he is going to score with the game's opening run. So Kiki Kyler, RBI single here in the 4th. 1-0 Cubs. And now Riggs Stevenson comes to the plate. Still nobody out. Stevenson 0 for 1. Double play ball hits a grounder to Chapman at short. Tosses it to Wamsgons. Over to Johnston. Double play. So the first and second outs of the inning. And now Charlie Grimm comes up. Flew out his first time at the plate. This time ground ball left side. Shortstop Chapman has it. Throws it over to first. And that ends the top of the 4th. But the Cubs get the first run of the game on the Kyler hit. And it is 1-0 Chicago, heading to the bottom of the 4th. Speaker to lead things off, grounded out his first time up. This time, hits a ball into right center. It's in for a base hit. Leadoff runner aboard. Here's Elmer Smith, 0 for 1 today. And Guy Bush strikes him out for the first out. Larry Gardner's 0 for 1. And Bush, 2 straight strikeouts. So Tris Speaker opened the inning with a single, 2 straight strikeouts. Here's Bill Wamsgans, 0 for 1 today. Doesn't get much of it. Little ground ball toward third base. McMillan charges, throws to first, but Wamsgans beats it out for the infield single. So that'll put runners on first and second for what has been the Indians' best hitter this season, Doc Johnston. He is 0 for 1 today, came into the game batting .341. First and second, 2 outs. And he will take ball 4 to load the bases for Steve O'Neill. O'Neill flew out his first time up, bases loaded, 2 outs. And O'Neill hits it towards second base over Rogers Hornsby head into the outfield. It's going to fall for a base hit. Tris Speaker's going to score. Bill Wamsgans going to score. Doc Johnston will hold up at second base. Steve O'Neill has a 2-run single. And that puts the Indians in front 2-1. Pitcher Ray Caldwell comes to the plate now. First and second, 2 outs. And Bush having problems. He walks the opposing pitcher, loading the bases again. And Charlie Jamison will come to the plate. Jamison has already walked twice. This time, though, Bush strikes him out to end the inning, but not before the Indians take the 2-1 lead on the Steve O'Neill 2-run single. Now we go to the top of the 5th. Zach Wilson to lead things off. He is 0 for 1. Ground ball right side. First baseman Johnston has it. Takes it himself for the first out. Here's the pitcher, Guy Bush, reached on an error his first time up. And last inning, Bush walked Caldwell. This inning, Caldwell walks Bush. So runner on base with 1 out for Norm McMillan, who is 0 for 2. Ground ball left side, tough play for Ray Chapman. His only play is to first. He does get the out, but Bush advances to second base. So runner on second and 2 outs for Woody English. English is 1 for 2. Ground ball left side, Larry Gardner has it, throws it over to first for the third out. So the score remains 2-1 Cleveland, heading to the bottom of the 5th. Ray Chapman to lead things off. He is 0 for 2. Well hit ball into right center field, but Hack Wilson is going to make the catch for the first out. That'll bring up Tris Speaker, 1 for 2 today. Another fly ball hit to the outfield. Once again, Hack Wilson makes the catch, and that's 2 outs. There's Elmer Smith, 0 for 2. Ground ball towards shortstop. English has it. Over to Grimm. 1-2-3 inning. So the Indians still lead 2-1 going to the top of the 6th. Cleveland won the opener. Cubs won the next 2. Cleveland trying to even up this series. Rogers Hornsby to lead things off for the Cubs. He is 1 for 2 today. This puts him at just 1 for 14 in this series. And he is going to hit a fly ball into right field that Elmer Smith is going to catch for the first out. Hack Wilson's 1 for 2, doubled his last time up, but he's just 2 for 13 in this series. And this time, lazy fly ball to left field. Charlie Jameson's going to make the catch, and we have another 1-2-3 inning. On to the 6th. Nope, I'm sorry, that was only the second out. Hornsby led off, then Wilson flew out. Now it's Kiki Kyler to the plate. Kyler drove in the Cubs' only run in the 4th inning. And he is going to hit this one hard. He's going to hit into right center field. It's going to get to the wall and bounce off of it. Kyler's into second base with a double. Two outs for Riggs Stevenson. Was 6 for 11 in the first 3 games, but 0 for 2 today. But he hits a sharp drive into right. It's in for a hit. They're going to send Kiki Kyler, and he is going to score the game tying run. So Cubs 2, Indians 2. Riggs Stevenson has done it again. Another RBI for Stevenson. That's team best 10th of the year. So 2 outs, runner on first for Charlie Grimm, who's 0 for 2 today. And he is going to do something good with that 33. We'll roll on his second column. Stevenson was going on the pitch. Grimm drives it into right, into the corner. It's going to get down. They're going to send Stevenson. He's going to slide in safely. Charlie Grimm's going to go to second with an RBI double. And that makes it 3-2 Cubs. And another lead change. Zach Taylor now 0 for 2 today. He's got a runner on second with 2 outs. Ground ball right side. Wamsgans knocks it down, throws it over to first, and gets the third out. So the Cubs regain the lead in the top of the 6th on the Stevenson and Grimm RBI hits, and it's now 3-2 Cubs. Leading off the bottom of the 6th is Larry Gardner. 0 for 2 today. Ground ball. Woody English has it at short. Over to first, out number 1. Here's Wamsgans, 1 for 2. Did you know Bill Wamsgans made the only unassisted triple play in World Series history? 1 for 2 today, but weak ground ball, right side. Charlie Grimm has it at first, takes it himself. And that is out number 2. Doc Johnston's up, 0 for 1, walked his last time up. And he's going to do something good here. We'll roll on his second column. Hits it hard to the wall. It's off the wall, and he is into second base with a double. So tying run on second base with 2 outs for Steve O'Neill. And Steve O'Neill comes through. He's got a base hit into right. They're going to send Doc Johnston. He is going to slide home safely with the game tying run. And it is now 3-3. Cleveland ties it up here in the bottom of the 6th. O'Neill has driven in all 3 runs for the Indians. 2 outs. It's the pitcher, Ray Caldwell, and Caldwell has a single and a walk today. And he is going to walk for a second time. Bush struggling a bit. Jamison, runners on first and second, 2 outs. Jamison has walked, and struck out. And he lines one into left field. It's in for a hit. They're going to send Steve O'Neill. Stevenson comes up with it, throws it home. O'Neill is out. Stevenson, a perfect throw home. Jamison gets the hit. O'Neill tried to score. Too slow. Couldn't get there in time. Perfect throw by Stevenson. And the Cubs get out of it. But not before the O'Neill RBI single has tied it at 3. So we go to the top of the 7th. Both teams now 3 runs on 7 hits. Let's see. Are we looking for the bullpens? Cubs don't have much in the bullpen. Indians have one well-rested ace in the bullpen. So we will let Guy Bush continue on for the Cubs. He will hit a fly ball into center, but Tris Speaker is going to drop the fly ball. It's going to be an error, and Guy Bush is aboard. Second error of the game for the Indians. That brings up Norm McMillan. 3-3 game in the 7th. I think McMillan's going to look to bunt here. Well, 66. We're going to have it's going to be a successful bunt, but I guess it could have been so much more. And the bunt is successful, moving the go-ahead run to second base with 1 out for Woody English, who's 1 for 3 today. And Woody English comes through, hits a ball into right field, falls in for a hit, and Guy Bush is going to easily score from second base. And the Cubs have gone back up in front, 4-3. Now Rogers Hornsby comes to the plate. He is 1 for 3. Pops him up, left side. Gardner has it for the second out. Hack Wilson is 1 for 3 with a double. Nothing this time, though. Routine fly ball to left, which Jamison catches. And that is the end of the inning. Cubs tie it up on the English hit. And it is the 7th inning stretch. I'm sorry, the Cubs go ahead 4-3 on the English hit. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th. Cubs 4, Cleveland 3. Ray Chapman to lead things off for the Indians. Of course, in the 1920 season, Ray Chapman died after being hit by a pitch. Tragic story there. He is 0 for 3 in this game. And Bush strikes him out. Tris Speaker comes to the plate, 1 for 3. He will draw a walk. And that brings up Elmer Smith, who is 0 for 3. I'll re-roll that white die that got hung up. And Bush strikes out Smith for out number 2. So Larry Gardner with 2 outs and a runner on. Gardner 0 for 3. Hits a ball to short. English has to charge in barehanded. Only plays to first, but Gardner will beat it out. Infield single, putting 2 runners on and 2 outs for Bill Wamsgans, who is 1 for 3. The Cubs have had the lead. This is the 3rd time the Cubs have led in the game, but Cleveland's come back each time previous. Not this inning, however, as Wamsgans hits a fly ball to right that Kiki Kyler will catch for the 3rd out. So we head to the 8th, and Kiki Kyler will lead things off for the Cubs. Both teams now have 8 hits on the day. Kyler drove in the first run of the game. He's 2 for 2. He's got a single, a double, and a walk. This time, though, routine ground ball to second. Wamsgans over to first for the 1st out. Here's Riggs Stevenson, 1 for 3. Drove in a run. He's going to do something good here as he gets to roll on his 2nd column. And unfortunately, nothing special. That's just going to result in a base hit for Stevenson. So 1 out, 1 runner on for Charlie Grimm. Grimm hits a ground ball to short. Chapman has it, flips it to Wamsgans on to first, double play. So that ends the top of the 8th. Indians come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by a run. Doc Johnston, they got the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up. Johnston, 1 for 2, a double and a walk. He will walk for the 2nd time. To bring up Steve O'Neill, who has driven in all 3 Indian runs today. He's 2 for 3. We're going to let him swing away. And that was the right move here as he collects his 3rd hit of the game, lines it into right. Doc Johnston's going to make his way to 3rd base, and the Indians have runners at the corners with nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Ray Caldwell has given up 4 runs and 9 hits. I think it is time to call it a day for Ray Caldwell because the Indians do have 1 excellent reliever, and I think they could use a pinch hitter here. Although Caldwell did have a hit earlier in the game, but Joe Evans, a 349 hitter, will come to the plate. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Cubs got some guys in the bullpen, but they're going to let Guy Bush go for now. And Evans takes ball 4. Bush issues another walk, loads him up for Charlie Jamison. Still nobody out. Jamison, 1 for 2, couple of walks. Cubs will bring the infield in. Short fly ball to left. Johnston tags. Stevenson makes the catch. Johnston bluffs, but he does not want to test Stevenson's arm after Stevenson already threw 1 runner out. So Johnson stays at third. The bases remain loaded with one out. Ray Chapman's back up to the plate. Chapman 0 for 4 today. He is going to pop the ball up on the right side. Charlie Grimm has it. And that's 2 outs. So can Bush get out of the bases loaded jam with nobody out? He's got the first 2 outs, but the Indians Hall of Famer Tris Speaker at the plate. Speaker 1 for 3 with a walk. Huge situation here for the Indians, who really need this game after losing the last 2. And they trail 4-3 here on the bottom of the 8th. Speaker hits it well. He gets to roll on a second column. What's he going to do? He hits a ball down the right field line. It's in. Kyler's going to have to chase after it. Doc Johnston scores. Steve O'Neill scores. They're going to send Joe Evans all the way from first base. Evans slides in safely, and Tris Speaker has cleared the bases with a 3-run double. And all of a sudden, the Indians now lead 6-4. All right. Well, that is it for Guy Bush. He is going to be replaced by Mike Savengros. As the Indians now lead 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Still a chance to do some more as Speaker's there on second base. Elmer Smith is at the plate. Smith 0 for 4. And well hit ball to right. It's deep. It's to the track, but Kiki Kyler makes the catch. Finally, the third out is made. So Indians score 3 on the bases loaded double by Tris Speaker. And that brings up the Cubs now, trailing for the second time today. They haven't trailed much, but can they do anything here in the 9th? We do need to replace Ray Caldwell. He will be replaced by Duster Males, who is an A-rated reliever. Zach Taylor, the number 8 hitter for the Cubs, to lead things off. He is 0 for 3. Ground ball left side. Third baseman Gardner has it. Over to first for the first out. That brings up the pitcher's position, so we'll take out Savengros and Cliff Heathcote will come into pinch hit, a .312 hitter in 1929. Cubs need 2 runs. Heathcote pops it up. Left side, Gardner has it for the second out. Cubs are down to their last out. Norm McMillan will come to the plate, 0 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt. And Males strikes him out. And that is the ball game. The Cleveland Indians take this one 6-4. The two teams split the 4-game series. Indians win games 1 and 4. Today, the Indians, 6 runs on 10 hits. They made 2 errors, left 10 runners on base. The Cubs, 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors, They left 6 on base. Of the Indians' 10 hits, Steve O'Neill had 3 of them, also drove in the Indians' first 3 runs of the game. Tris Speaker went 2 for 4, had the big 3-run double in the 8th inning. Ray Caldwell is going to get the win. 8 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of them earned. Gave up 2 walks, struck out 1. Duster Males pitched the 9th and got the save. The Cubs had 9 hits, 3 players with multi-hit games. Woody English, Kiki Kyler, and Riggs Stevenson all had 2 hits on the day. Guy Bush will take the loss. He's pitching well for a while, but 7 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned. 8 walks. Not going to win when you're pitching like that. And 5 strikeouts. Mike Savengros pitched the final third of the inning for the Cubs. So that'll do it here. The Indians will finish week 3 with an 8-4 record. Today's loss will send the Cubs back to 500. They are now at 6-6. So that's it for this series. Next one up, 1927 Pirates against the 1927 Yankees. So looking forward to that one. Please go check rogersportsgames.com if you'd like to see the recaps, box scores, stats, everything else from this series and more. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.